All right, so let's get started here. What's up, guys? Hope everybody's having a great evening. What's up? Markets currently are selling off here, actually, which is pretty cool. And I'm not actually going to show you guys a strategy here before we kind of really hop on into the actual strat that obviously you guys know generate me some moolah, and you guys are obviously learning this as well. I kind of want to talk to you guys about, let's say for some of you that, maybe missed New York Open or aren't able to trade New York Open because maybe you have work or something pops up or whatever the case may be. And you're like, you know what, I need to start trading Asian. I need to start trading towards the evening because in the morning sometimes don't work the best for me. So it's going to be the exact same system. The only difference, guys, is volume moves so much more slower. You guys can kind of see how, we shut up here, consolidated, and then we're not really starting to dip to the downside, and how we kind of really get really bad volume. Then every once in a while, we kind of get a little bit of better volume here. The move happens, then we start consolidating again, and then the move happens, and it starts consolidating again. So if you guys are interested in trading later in the evening, we already have to know that the markets are going to take a lot longer to move. A play that might last maybe 15 to 30 seconds or maybe 3 minutes during New York Open might take 30, 45 minutes to an hour, same exact move, but for Asian. So that's usually why I don't trade Asian, is because clearly, right, markets take a lot longer and we don't really want to be in this and we don't really want to be sitting around a computer for hours and hours and hours. So, but it's kind of the same as a system, right? Wait for volume, wait for price to get below VWAP, breaks below key level, forms that lower high. Here's that lower high. Take the break right here, and then the continuation to the downside, right? Same exact situation. Really, really nothing different than the overall strategy. Just it takes longer. Okay, guys? But let's go ahead and talk about the strat, guys. Before we even get started in the strat, what do you guys think you're struggling with the most in the concepts and in the strategy in the first place? What are we all really struggling with here? Are we struggling with PA? Are we struggling with entries? Are we struggling with the zones? Are we struggling with trend? Are we struggling with, what is the main thing, not psychology-wise, but the main thing strategy-wise you think you guys are struggling with or failing at the most? What do you guys think? What is it? Rodrigo says creating key levels. Okay, so we'll go over that as well. Anybody? What else? What else is you guys really struggling with in your guys' trading? What do you guys think? And hold on, guys. While you guys are typing that, give me 2 seconds here. I'm getting a phone call. Just hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Give me a second. All right, sorry guys, I'm back. So, you guys said creating key levels. B says same. Losses stop versus loose stop versus hard stop. Sweet. So yeah, good questions, guys. So we're gonna talk about we're gonna be talking about small stops, and then we're gonna talk about loose stops. Perfect, and then key levels. So let's just go ahead and start breaking all of this down, guys. Let me make sure the camera is good. Perfect. I'm going to make myself kind of small. Again, this is being recorded as well, so you guys can kind of look back and watch this on your own time as well. So first things first, we're going to talk about key levels, okay? How many of you guys are using my algo? How many of you guys are using my algo, and how many of you guys are not using my algo? That's the first question I kind of want to ask you guys as a team. Who's using my algo and who's not using my algo? So just say yes or no in the chat, just so I can see where we're going. Because if majority of you guys are using my algo, I'm going to kind of go off of that. If the majority of you guys are not using my algo, we're not going to go off of that. So I kind of want to see. So Peter says yes. Matt Post says sometimes. Alive says not yet. Okay. Cool. So who else? Rodrigo's typing. What do we got, brother? No. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you guys about key levels on using the algo and key levels on not using the algo. So actually, we're going to start with not using the algo, because everybody in here should be comfortable identifying the key levels without the help. So before I get started, everybody, when you guys are looking for your key levels, I think the best time frame to start, because again, we're scalpers, so I think the best time to really trade or identify key levels is going to be on the 30-minute time frame. Now, yes, we can go on higher time frames. We can go to the 1 hour. We can go to the 4-hour time frame. We can really zoom on out here and really kind of see what's going on, right? You can see, look at this chop here. We're really getting choppy, chopped. And look, we had an all-time high at 27,646, which is pretty interesting. But using these massive time frames really don't help us because we're swing trade or we're scalpers. We're not swing trade. If we're talking about holding massive moves and swing trading and holding for days at a time, then yes, I'll say we have to trade on higher time frames. We have to trade on the 1 hour. We have to trade on the 30-minute. But based upon our strategy, these higher time frames really don't make sense, or we really don't need them. So let's just go to the 30-minute here. Okay. Now, I hope everybody, again, are watching my recap videos as well. It's going to kind of help you look at every single play and the different PA throughout the week and throughout the days of trading and how that kind of lines up with the strategy. But the first thing when I go ahead and I look at the charts, guys, I'm looking straight at pre-market. That's the very first thing. So pretend imagine in your brain this hasn't happened yet, like nothing here happened yet. The first thing I'm really just targeting and looking at is going to be pre-market, which is this level. Now, I think most of us, again, I'm going to ask you guys another question. Are most of us using Thinkorswim, the platform that I use every single day, or are most of us using a different platform like TradingView, Tradeovate, right? The TopStep platform, I forgot what that one's called. What platform is everybody using? TradingView, Difference, TopStep X. Okay. Now, using TopStep or TradingView or a different platform, right? Yes, it kind of Ninja. Okay. Yes, it kind of helps. Yes, it kind of can help you. I think there's in the settings, I'm not sure because every trading platform is different. But in the settings, I think it does highlight when pre-market and when the different zones and sessions are in trading. But why I like pre-market or why I like Thinkorswim so much is because it's just so simple. On where does pre-market start? Where does pre-market end? Where does market open start? Where does market open end, right? It's super simple. Now, again, I think most of us in here, when we trade with me, you guys kind of look at my screen. That's why I share it. But I highly recommend, again, using this platform if you guys can, okay? It's free. You guys don't pay anything. I know in TradingView, you guys have to pay something, right? So it's free, but it's super easy to just look at these areas and these sessions, okay? Lucid and Tradify. No, I mean your charting platform is what I'm asking about. Charting platform, not like what you trade on, just like charting platform, right? I don't trade on Thinkorswim. I trade on Tradeovate, right? That's my broker, but I'm using Thinkorswim as my charting platform. That's what I was asking that crew, okay? So, cool. So again, a lot of us in here, right? I kind of can start out at drawing highs. By the way, perfect example here of a reversal, right? What happened? We swept pre-market highs of yet today, this morning, right? This is pre-market of today. We just swept that, right? And what's happening? Price is coming right back down. Okay, so that's definitely a pretty interesting play that we could have obviously caught and understood, and that's why going on higher time frames like the 15-minute here, right? We can see that this is highs, right? The high, right? We sweep the high, and then on a smaller time frame, right? We can see that we just swept the highs. Now we're rechanging direction, right? So that's why different time frames are very crucial when we're trading. Very, very, very crucial. Look at that, the market's just going boom straight to the downside here. We might even have a red day tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised. We might have a red day tomorrow. Okay. So first things first, step number 1, enjoying your key levels. Go ahead, chart out your pre-market highs. Boom, very simple. Step number 2, draw out your pre-market lows. All right, technically the pre-market low is all the way down here for today. Boom. Actually, and you know what? I'm going to kind of ignore this one, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to go ahead and draw. And that's why, and another thing I'm going to talk about, guys, is drawing zones instead of lines, because if I drew a line here, right, you can see that we didn't even touch it, it didn't get close. But at the same time, if we draw zones, look how more accurate the zone would be. Instead of a line, we would just do this instead, right? That seems a lot more accurate when we draw those zones, because look, boom, tapped into the zone, then we come right back up. This makes a lot more sense. So I really want you guys focusing on drawing zones instead of lines, because of just that example in itself. It's going to be a lot more accurate for you guys. Okay. So, and we're going to kind of talk about how do we draw zones? If I drew a line here, right? this is where I would put the line. But then what made you put your zone from here to here? Like why did you put it there? What made sense to put it there? And the reason was because I'm doing the most recent pre-market low to the next recent high, right? So it would be low to recent high. And that's exactly how I was able to identify this zone. So if we actually go ahead and do this, let's go ahead and take out this line right here. And now we go to a small time frame, the 2 minute, because what do we trade on? The 2 minute time frame. And now look what happened. We can clearly see what's starting to happen. Hitting support, shoots up, right? So I really think that that's going to help you guys really know, like, oh, we're tapping into a support zone, not a support line. All right. If that makes sense, cool. Again, if I'm explaining something and you guys are like, yo, well, I don't know what you're saying, I don't understand what you're saying, please put in the comments, ask any question, right? There is no stupid question, unless you just tell me. If you ask me, Will, what are we trading? Then, okay, I'm going to kick you from the team. Just kidding. I want to do that. But the majority of the questions aren't stupid, so you're chilling, guys. But let's go back to the 15-minute time frame here. So we clearly know this is a level support. So from recent low to recent next low, right? How I would draw this zone, I'll be from high to next recent high. So it'll be like from here to here. Okay. So it'll be perfect just like so. And then obviously we could see the major moves, right? Massive move hits this point of control. And I kind of want to talk to you guys about change of direction, right? How am I able to know about these levels? When we're looking at a chart here, and I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to make this look really simple for you guys. I'm actually going to delete my VWAP here. Boom. So it's going to be just a straight naked chart for you guys. Okay. We want to go ahead and we just want to go and see what is the biggest areas, the biggest shifts of direction that the market is currently happening, right? The biggest shifts of direction are going to be here, right? Here, right? Here, and here. All right. These are 4 points in the market on a higher time frame that shift, right? We can call it point 1, 2, 3, 4. And since these are on higher time frames, right, we can see that when we hit these levels, what happens? Buyers step up, sellers step up, buyers step up, sellers step up. So when market opens, the majority, when we hit these levels again, what happens? Buyers step up. When we hit these levels of resistance, right up here, sellers step up. But the thing that we have to make sure we're aware of, and that's why I always tell you guys, how do we make sure we don't get faked out? How do we make sure that, like, for example, here, right, we're hitting this level of resistance, right? This is all resistance here, but what happens with the market? What happens with the market here? Do we hit this level and we sell right back off? No, right? There's enough buyers at this given time that actually are strong enough compared to the sellers, and we rip right past it. And that's why I was saying we don't take shorts unless you're trading below the VWAP, and we don't take longs unless you're trading above the VWAP. So this we'd have said, okay, let's take a breakout play because the overall market is trading above the VWAP, so we wouldn't have gotten faked out trying to take a short position at a resistance level. Does that all make sense real quick? Does everybody follow me? Put W's in chat real quick. Are we all following me? Makes sense, okay? What made you trade the 2 minute instead of the 1 minute? Because, good question, by the way. If we go to the 1 minute time frame real quick, right? Okay. Look at how many times we could have potentially been faked out, right? These little wicks, like we would have faked out. Yeah, we could have maybe taken a trade here. We could have taken a trade here. We could have taken a trade right here. But for the downside, but when we don't trade on the 1 minute, because when we don't have clean direction, and a perfect example for actually, let me show you. The day that I lost 3 times in a row, because those days do happen, right? Let me show you a day that I lost 3 times in a row. I think it was here. Yep, it was this day right here. Because let's go to the 1 minute. Actually, make sure we do 5 days, 1 minute. Boom, there we go. So it was this day right here. Okay. This is a 1 minute time frame, right? I took shorts right here on the 1 minute. What happened? I got faked out, came all the way back up. Then I took short longs on the 1 minute right here. What happened? Hit it, got faked out again. So trading on the 1 minute, you have a higher chance of getting faked out of a trade. Then let's go to the 2 minute time frame, okay, and look at the same thing. Look at this. On the 2 minute time frame, I would have never taken that short because it doesn't make, we never had that retracement lower low, lower high. And on the 2 minute time frame, I'm never taking that long because we never actually broke, came back down, and closed above this level. So see how when I traded on the 1 minute time frame, I lost back to back on the trades, but on the 2 minute time frame, it gave me a different point of perspective, saying, "Yo, Will, there actually is no trend there. Wait, don't take the trade." So from going from a 1 minute to 2 minute time frame, it's going to save you from getting wicked out, save you from getting faked out, and stuff like that. So hopefully, live that kind of answered your question. Okay, cool. Now let's kind of go back to what we were talking about. Let's go back to the 15-minute time frame. So I told you guys about areas of control, areas of change direction. Boom, 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 boom. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to draw our zones. Right here, this, right? And I'm doing bodies, okay? So highest point, okay, to lowest point, okay? And you guys can rewatch this. Highest point to lowest point. All right, this candle wick right here. Same thing with down here, okay? It's going to be lowest point to highest point. So you guys can see, boom, boom. You guys following me? Make sense? Okay? Practice this. All right? So now we have our obviously range. Now, I don't see any levels at all anymore on the 15 minutes. So what are we going to do? We're going to go to the 5 minute. Boom. 5 minute. Zoom on in here. Do we see anything else? We do. Where? Here. All right here. Okay? All in this area. All right? But are we going to draw lines? No. It's going to be confusing. It's not going to make sense. It's not going to be accurate. What are we going to do? We're going to draw a zone. Right? So from low to high. Okay? From here. And this is just practice, guys. This is all just practice. Okay? Low to next high. So now, and this is the exact trade we took this morning together. Okay? The exact trade we took this morning together. Now we go to the 2 minute time frame. Okay? Let's put the VWAP back up on the charts here. Boom. Apply. All right. Market opens. Okay. Market opens. Sells off. Sells off. I told you guys, wait. And my algo actually had this as well. The algo even helped me identify this. That's why the algo is really helpful, because what does the algo do, right? The algo is going to help me be like, hey, yo, is that level correct or is it incorrect? It's going to kind of confirm that. It's going to try and check it off. Like, yo, is that oh, perfect. The algo matches with the zone, right? So what I would do is draw your zones and put the algo over it, and then you guys are like, yo, chilling, perfect. Okay. What else we got? How does this help us decide how to enter a market? Yeah, I'm about to get to here. First, we have to understand how to draw them. First, we have to understand where to find them. First, we have to understand how to draw them and how to find them. After you are able to do that, then we have to identify how to use them, right? We haven't gone there yet, okay? So now how do we use them? We're on the 2 minute time frame, okay? First thing, what did I tell you guys on step number 1? What did I say? We have to wait for the market to pick a direction. Are we trading above the VWAP? Are we trading below the VWAP? Boom. 8:30 market opened. Straight to the downside. We're starting to trade below the VWAP. Ding, 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 ding. I'm already leaning short now because we're trading below the VWAP. But I'm leaning short. I'm not confident yet on shorts. What do I need to see? And I'm not going to answer this question. What do I need to see for a downtrend to form? And the people that have been with me for a while should easily know this answer. What has to happen for a bearish trend to form? What do you think? What do you guys think? Lower high and what? Lower high and lower low, right? So we can clearly see, do we form any lower highs or lower lows? No. Boom. This gave me all the answers. Right when we tapped into, because what was this, guys? Let's go back to the 15-minute time frame. This was, before this happened, this was a support level. This was support. But what happened when support absolutely, because we're trading below the VWAP, so just because we're tapping into support here doesn't mean we go long. Why don't we go long? Because we're below the VWAP. We don't look for longs. Okay? We break through the level of support right here. When we break through the level of support, it turns into resistance. it turns into resistance. Sellers are going to step in. So now what we want to look for is a retracement, which means this is a retracement. This is called a retracement, and a lower high. Ding, 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 ding. There is, I'm going to make this, purple. There is that lower high. And at the same time, we get the rejection of this action now becoming a resistance level 2 or a resistance zone. So right when I saw that, I'm like, cool. We're going to go ahead and take shorts here, half size, just like it was actually a little early. It was actually 33,300. So we actually took shorts right here. This was half size. This was literally this morning's trade that made us over $3,000 or made me $3,000 and you guys a decent amount of money, right? Half size right here. Stop loss could be high candle or high zone. And then we go into full size at break low. And then where's our take profit? And that's why I told you guys our take profit is going to be where? Next zone. How do we able to get this zone? Higher time frame. So let's go back to the 15-minute here. Okay. Boom. Support. Targeted TP. Okay. Now, let's go back to the 2-minute. That was exactly how we were able to do it. We drew out our zones. We identified trend. We took the trend. Take profit the next zone. Questions on that trade? Does that make sense? Questions on the trade? Can you upload this after, please? Yes, this is being recorded. I'm going to upload this after the lesson. It'll take like 10, 15 minutes after the lesson's over, and I'll upload it so you guys can rewatch this 1,000 times over. Okay. So let's do another example. All right, let's do another example here. That was literally the trade this morning, right? And then we were done. I walked away. And that's why, again, you only need one trade a day, guys, to have the Lambo come in the future. Okay? So, and obviously, after the move, what was happening continuing? Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, right? Then we smacked into support. And we broke past, right? If this is the most, if we're dumping, like let's say, imagine we're right here. This didn't happen. So imagine we're right here, right? Where's the most recent high or low? Here. This is the most recent high. Most recent. There's other highs, but it's the most recent one compared to right here. So right when price broke out of the most recent high, that kind of told me, hey, the trend could potentially change. That doesn't mean I'm going to take the trade long there, but it can potentially change. What do we have to wait for to take longs? Get above VWAP. Perfect. Now we're trading above VWAP. Now, since we're trading back above VWAP, we can start potentially looking to take a long trade. Okay? So what are we going to look for? We're going to wait for a closure, candle closure first above the VWAP. We got the candle closure. Then we want to wait for another higher low to form above the VWAP right here, right? Boom, higher low above the VWAP. And now we're going to want to take longs somewhere in this area. Somewhere in this area. Okay. Now, again, this is a very good example on telling you guys that every trade isn't going to be as clean as this one, right? Every trade is going to be like entry, boom, straight to take profit. Sometimes trades take longer than others. Sometimes there's going to be more chop than others. And this is where people's psychology gets absolutely fucked. This is where people's psychology gets absolutely destroyed. Because you enter long here, let's say your take profits here, just for an example, right? TP's at the 50 median percent of this massive candle. So take profit here, entry here. I'll make this green. Okay. Stop loss is going to be zone low. Okay. Cool. So entry, stop loss, take profit. Right? Boom, we're in. Yay, we're up. Break even. Yay, we're up. Break even. Yay, we're up. Break even. Red, red, red. And this is where people start freaking out. Oh my gosh, we're getting back below the VWAP. This is bad. But did we ever form a lower high? No, right? Look what happened. We dumped. If we came up here, got rejected, and then came down, yeah, that we probably have to exit the trade. We're wrong. Let's get out. But we never formed a lower high. Yes, we were red, 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 red. But at the same time, first, we never hit our stop loss. And two, we never formed a lower high. Boom, back to break even. And a lot of us would have been, oh my gosh, we're back to break even. I'm going to kill it. And then you get back to red, right? So this is where people start freaking out. Or maybe we'll always say, you know what? I'm just going to get out right here because, damn, that trade was way too stressful. Fuck it. Right? But actually, if you keep looking, the trade would have hit. And the trade actually would have gone a lot higher, right, than even where our take profit was. But this trade took longer. And that's why every trade is different. Every one trade is going to be beautiful. One trade is going to be smeckalicious and massively hit, right? And then another trade might make your emotions go crazy. And that's why people lose or blow accounts, because they might, boom, put their stop loss too tight, they get stopped out. Then they re-enter, then they get stopped out. Then they re-enter, then they get stopped out. Then they get angry, full port, they blow their account. That's exactly the process of how traders mess up, just because we're in a little bit of consolidation before the actual move happens. Okay. So let's do another example real quick. We'll do another example real quick for you guys, and then I'll answer some questions, okay? Let's talk about, and then some days, right? This was yesterday. I didn't trade yesterday. You guys know I had Wi-Fi issues, right? Yesterday compared to today, look at the difference of movement. This is good PA. Big moves, a lot of opportunity. No moves, no opportunity. And that's why another example, and that's why I made a lot of videos. I made a video yesterday saying it's okay not to trade every single day. It's okay to be like, damn, these markets suck. I'm just not going to try. I'm not going to take a position because this price action is sucky. No matter if you like, okay, cool. Highs, right? Let's go ahead and mark them out together, right? Same situation. Boom. Hold on. There we go. Boom, boom. Low would be technically, low would be technically right here. Boom. Actually, it would be right here, excuse me. To here. Okay. Perfect. And then I'm going to actually draw lines just like so. Okay. Resistance, resistance. Now look at this. Let's go to the 2 minute. Let's zoom on over here. All right. Market opens. Dumps to the downside. Do we form a lower high? Potentially, look at this. This could have been the lower high here, right? This could have been a lower high here, okay? But then we absolutely dumped, okay? Wait, hold on, give me 1 second. The person keeps calling me. Hold on, guys. Sorry, hold on. All right, sorry guys, I'm back. I keep getting that person keeps calling me for something that I need to pick up. Okay, sorry. All right, we're back. So look at this. Right here, we technically formed that lower high, right? We technically formed that lower high, okay? But again, where would we have taken shorts? I would have been wanting to go short down here. Did that ever happen? No. Take the trade. Nope. All right? Then what happens? We start climbing up. Now we're forming a high, higher high, right? Or higher low, excuse me, okay? But we don't take any longs. Boom, sweet. Now we got a closure above the VWAP. Awesome. Do we take a trade? No, we didn't get a pullback. We don't take it. And this is the thing about strategy, guys. Just because the market shoots up and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't take it. I missed out on a 60-point move. Blah, blah, blah. The strategy didn't tell you to take it. The strategy didn't tell you to make the move. So we're just going to sit on our hands and wait for the play to just leave us. Too bad. Okay? Don't take it. Whatever. Now we consolidate again. Do we take shorts? No, we're not trading above the VWAP. Now we dip. Cool. There's no uptrend. We don't form any higher highs anymore. Boom. We formed a lower high now. We have a high, lower high. But we still don't take shorts because we're trading above the VWAP. So we chill. We sit on our hands. We do nothing. Okay? Then, boom. We get the closure below the VWAP. Yay. Awesome. Boom. We get the lower high we're looking for. Yay. Awesome. Right? Now we can take shorts. Half size position here. Full size position here. Take profit all the way down here. Beautiful setup just by waiting. Now this didn't happen until 11 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, but we finally were able to catch it. And I didn't take this trade, but I would have taken it if I was on it at this time, and that would have been a beautiful, sexy trade. Downtrend, wait for closure below VWAP, take the break. That would have been a beautiful 60, 70, 80 point move right there. And again, I would have been done for the day. But see how long and why did that trade take so long? Because the overall price action was absolutely cooked. It was choppy. It wasn't doing anything, right? It was stagnant, okay? So, cool. Good example. Makes sense. So true. Exactly, right? So you guys have to understand, just because the market moves in one way or just because the market moves in the other way and it's like, damn, I don't know where to enter, and it flies in one direction and you're not in it, that's where psychology comes into. And that's why, again, I'm not going to really talk about psychology in this lesson. We'll kind of get into that more next week. But you guys have to understand, right, that if you just follow the strategies and then control your psychology based upon your rules, stop loss, leverage, risk management, you're going to be fine. But people lose accounts, blow accounts, or aren't able to stay consistent because they start breaking their psychology. Their psychology gets broken. When their psychology gets broken, their rules in the system get broken. And when the rules in the system get broken, that's where their trades become messed up, and that's where they don't get successful and they lose their consistency. Okay? Questions, comments, concerns. So good? After this lesson, again, this is recorded so you guys can watch this on your own time. I'll upload it here in the next 10 to 15 minutes. But does this make more sense for you guys? Does the strategy and the key levels make a little sense for you guys? Are you guys now going to practice this over the weekend, right? Practice it over this weekend. If you have to spend 3 to 6 hours straight on the charts and watch this video 1,000 times over until it makes sense, go ahead and do so, okay? And then next week, let's start putting that to the test, and let's start doing it. Now, I'll go ahead and talk about more of risk management psychology next week. So, hey, how much should I risk per account? If I only have a $2,000 drawdown, how much could I risk? Or if I have this much drawdown, how much can I risk? Okay, and we'll kind of go from there. So any questions you guys want to ask me before we wrap things up on lesson? Or does everybody say, nope, Will, you answered every question I had. The breakdown was very, very simple. Okay, we're good. Sweet. All right, awesome. Well, you guys have a beautiful rest of you guys this Thursday night. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, market open. By the way, we're not doing any power or any lessons. Fridays are like kind of a chill day, so it's just New York Open, and then I won't see you guys till Sunday night, Monday morning. Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, New York Open. Have a beautiful rest of you guys this evening. If you guys need me, again, go ahead and direct message me. But anyway, see you guys later. Peace out, much love, and keep on practicing. Peace, peace, peace.